Greetings and salutations everyone, and welcome back to Stoffel Presents. And today we've got some really exciting footage for everyone. It's an early preview of the upcoming September release for Codemasters of Grid, 2019 reboot of the 2008 classic that came back out on the PlayStation 1. Now, as you can see, while we're racing some American stock cars here in Shanghai, and the first noticeable thing, even though it's still quite a few months away from release and still in the polishing stage, the graphics are pretty outstanding. Now, I got to spend a couple of hours with the game. I played it on the Xbox One using a control pad like most people will do, and also got to play it on the PC with a full Thrustmaster setup, place heat, pedals, gear stick, the full works, and to be honest with you, it's about the most fun that I've had playing a racing game in quite a long time. I am a racing fan. I'm a motorsport engineer. It's something I'm passionate about, something that I really love. And what makes the new Grid truly unique is that it has a choreographer built into the software. This choreographer does some amazing things with the game. It'll pick 3 to 4 random racers, buff their attributes, so they're faster, they're more aggressive into corners, they'll brake later, they'll accelerate harder, things like that. Because that's what happens in motorsports. People have the good days, people have their bad days. Some will have, their base traits will make them better in the wet. Some will make them better at street circuits as opposed to the race tracks that are on you. Couple that with other features that they've added with the choreographer, like it doesn't affect your car, but the AI players will have random mechanical faults. These can be anything from a minor engine problem that slows them down a bit at the top end, to an engine blowing, a wheel coming off. So it adds that unpredictability. It's one of the pillars that the lead developer Chris Smith was talking to us about, was the unpredictability of motorsport. And if you're a fan of motorsport, that's why you love it, isn't it? It's not sitting there watching a bunch of cars going round in a circle predictably. You know who's going to be first, you know who's going to be second, you know who's going to come last. If nobody'd watch it, it wouldn't be exciting. And it is that fact that anything can happen at any given time. Someone has a good day and all of a sudden they're flying up the pack, and there's some interesting battles going on. So couple that with the rivalry feature, where when you enter a race series, after your first sort of 1 or 2 events, close competitor. So if you finish, third, the guy in second will choose you as a rival, and he will make it his mission to beat you. It will up his stats and make him more competitive. And of course, rivalries is a massive thing about motorsport. Back in from Hunt and Lauda to Loeb and Olga, Damon Hill and Michael Schumacher is probably one of the most famous rivalries ever. So this really does add to the genre of drive round in circles. We'll simplify it. Obviously, drive around a track, and just as you're passing, your competitors, you're passing a slightly faster AI, a slightly faster AI, slightly faster AI. It's a little bit monotonous, and so it really does add an element to it. And I suppose it's partly why we love online multiplayer so much, is that it's unpredictable. You don't know what the guy's going to do. You are going to get someone who you accidentally bash into a corner, or deliberately bash as you're going into a corner, who will get a bit mad and spend the rest of his race trying his damnedest to beat you. And Codemaster, again, with their AI, I can't really fault it. They've done that again with the Nemesis system. So as you're racing, there's no rules, there's no restrictions, apart from if you cut too many corners, you will get disqualified from a race. But rubbing is racing. in Codemasters' eyes, much like the real world. So, you know, you can rub up against other cars, give them a couple of little gentle nudges, but give them one too many, and that driver will become your nemesis. The nemesis basically instantly gets a buff to his stats. The nemesis all of a sudden becomes way more aggressive, way faster around the track. They will dive up the inside. They will initiate contact. Now, there's no pit maneuvers or anything like that. They're not going to spin you off and slam you into a wall, but they will rub up against you and use and lean on you going through corners. And if they get ahead, they will be a nightmare. They will intentionally take very defensive lines to slow you down, to ensure they win. Basically, their mission is purely to win, so you need to either let them go or be that much quicker that you get away from them, because if they get a chance to get in front of you and slow you down, they will. And it just adds to it. You know, everyone, you play games online, you bump some guy, he gets super mad. That's what he does, and it brings that realism to a genre that's kind of getting a bit stale. It seems to be all now about what's the newest car, what's the prettiest car, what's the fastest car, and it's all about, you know, learning the track and taking a tenth of a second off, and it just doesn't have that fun element. Now, speaking of Chris Smith, the lead developer, he said the game's based on 3 pillars. I'm not going to go massively into detail of that on them in this video. I've got a review and an interview with Chris Smith up as well, but essentially it's based off the game being accessible to everyone. So they've done this by having some really good assist features, which in a sense help you control the handling of it with assists. So even the most, you know, basic, unknowledgeable, never played a racing game before kind of guy or girl can pick up the game and play it and be competitive. You can knock the AI down, put the assists up, and it helps you. It teaches you how to race in a simulation style, but without having that super control that you need to play a sim without any sort of assists. And then, coming from sort of my perspective, sort of a casual player, but a casual sim player, I can knock off all the assists, put the AI up, and really challenge myself. So Chris explained it in the best way. It's for where casual gamers come for some serious fun, and where sim players come to have fun. It's a really nice middle ground where you can get together and enjoy the game for what it is. One thing I had to bug Chris about, because it's a feature we're seeing all too much, is the multiplayer, the online gameplay. Now, a lot of them you get registered by skill or by lap time or by your driving ability, and you get put into every single online race is against people who are equally skilled, drive in a similar manner, equally as aggressive, or gentlemanly, shall we say. Now in Grid they've kept it simple. They've got rid of all of that. You join a lobby, it's completely random. If Fernando Alonso or Sebastian Loeb are sitting at home playing Grid, and you can end up with it in a lobby with professional drivers, esport drivers, people like myself, people like you. It's random. It's a real luck of the draw, which brings back again that element of unpredictability. You could be going into a race and you could be top of the pack leader, win by 10, 15, 20 seconds, or you could be up against some esport pro, and obviously that has its benefits. Nobody likes being beaten, but you get to see how the pros do it as well, and that might help you with a new line around the track, or and just watching a more experienced driver. So it really adds that element and gets rid of the whole matchmaking nightmare, which is something that I actually love and I'm really looking forward to. Now, like I said, I've got a couple of hours to play with it, and I can't express in a 10-minute video how good this game is and how much I'm really looking forward to its release. So definitely keep an eye on it. There will be more updates coming in the future as newer releases come out, and well, we'll see you then.
After the first lap, chase down the pack. Let's give it everything.